Do that. All right, good Tuesday morning, everyone. First Alert Meteorologist Eric Burke figured we'd change things up a little bit, go with a little earlier weather extra on this Tuesday. I know a lot of your kids at home have a delayed start, or maybe they're off altogether today, but I figure might have a few more of you on the stream today, and it'd just be good to give you a little update on what we're expecting, not just this morning, but through the rest of the week, into the weekend, and beyond. Excuse me 1 second as I just click over so I could see any comments coming in. If you care to chime in, I appreciate y'all, and thank you as always for joining us. I think one of the most impressive things we have this morning, and impressive not in a good way, from a beauty standpoint, the very heavy frost we have out there, it looks amazing. It looks like we're in this winter wonderland. Almost reminds me, like a Christmas card out there. But no, that frost, it's all over the grass, and it's very heavy. It's probably on your rooftop as well. And that does mean if you are taking your kids to the school drop-off line soon, or you're heading to work yourself, it means you get to spend some extra time with your ice scraper. And I don't know anyone who actually likes to spend time with their ice scraper, but you will, I would say, factor in at least 5 to 10 minutes. I know my coworkers in the newsroom, they said, man, that frost was next level this morning. And I think it is. I think this is the worst frost, the granddaddy of them all, as I referred to it as on our morning newscast. But yeah, that frost is heavy this morning, 5 to 10 minutes. I know it's a pain. I know it's a nuisance, and it's very cold this morning, but be sure to scrape off your entire car or truck windshield, get those side windows as well. It's a safety thing, and you just want to be able to see this morning. All right, talking temperatures, we did have quite a few spots. This is just the air temperature, not the wind chill right now. This is just the air temperature, and we're looking at a temp right now in the teens to low 20s, and that is, cold. We are starting to warm up, though, and the warm-up today will happen a lot faster than it did yesterday, and that's what's most important. That Monday was a very forgettable Monday. We had tough travel conditions in the morning. Doesn't mean that all roads are clear, and this is something I see a lot people commenting on when we talk about the road conditions, and they always say, well, they only cover the main roads, the highest trafficked roads. It's impossible to know what every road looks like. It's usually just a good rule that your neighborhood road is probably going to be a little worse than the main road that you turn out onto. But we've got some patchy black ice still this morning. There was a little bit of refreezing overnight. Sometimes you even get some of that groundwater seeping in on a day like yesterday after all that heavy rain we saw too, or you get some runoff, or things just start to melt and then they don't fully evaporate, and then you get that ice developing again overnight. I saw it firsthand. And it was a couple spots that I saw it. It's mainly those bridges and overpasses, but your turning lanes, your shoulders, anytime you have to turn through like a median, for example, those are the locations this morning that would probably have some ice on them. So it's something to be conscious of. Roads made huge improvements yesterday. Not denying that. I'm just saying it's my job to tell you there might be a little bit of ice out there. But I'd say by noon today, at the latest, the last of most icy conditions will be melted and over and done with, unless you have a very sheltered or shaded road. That would be the exception. We do stay very cold today. Not as bad as yesterday. That's a positive spin on it, but still very cold. Your wind chill is probably going to be in the 20s, and of course we'll go through that coming up. And I've got bad news. I was changing the forecast this morning and changing it not for the better. I mean, it hurts me to lower numbers colder than they already are. But we do have another blast of cold air coming in for the weekend. At least this cold air will not come with mixed precip. We will not see sleet. We will not see freezing rain. We will not see snow. We will not see cold rainfall. Weekend is going to be dry. It's just going to be very cold, and we'll talk more about that weekend forecast coming up here. It's always nice to just kind of go through this a little bit slower here. We go to the wind chill. So this is the model data, thinking our hour-by-hour forecast here. Now, the winds are going to be much calmer well, I'm not going to say calm. They won't be as blustery today. They will be out of the west-southwest, so that is technically a warming wind. But even by 9:30 this morning, so in about an hour or so, the wind chill will be in the single digits to mid-teens. The warmest wind chill I saw before I left work yesterday was about 13 or 14 degrees. We're already going to exceed that by 9:30 this morning compared to yesterday. I said it is a warmer day, and take that loosely because even by noon we still have that wind chill in the low to mid 20s. Then we've got a feels like temperature in the upper 20s to low 30s, but it's not as bad waking up tomorrow morning, and some of that has to do with calmer winds, and we also have more clouds pushing in too, so that will keep our wind chill from totally bottoming out into the single digits like we had this morning. And then you go through the day on Wednesday, and that wind chill by noon still just kind of in the upper 20s to low 30s. So here it is hour by hour. I added the wind to the hourly forecast when we show future radar and everything, because sometimes they just don't give us enough time for weather to show wind and the clouds and the future precipitation using future radar and everything. So just having it up there, hopefully it doesn't bother anyone, but I want to share that with you. We've got temperatures in the mid to upper 30s as early as noon. So that means the air temperature and the surface temperature, the road and surfaces is what I mean there, is going to be above freezing by noon. And that offers us a pretty good, about 3-4 hour window above freezing to see really significant additional melting here. And that's good news. So I say the last of that patchy black ice is going to, start to dissipate here. And I don't anticipate maybe some of those very rural sheltered shaded roads again come Wednesday morning too. But just looking at more clouds building in overnight. Now that might mean the frost might not be as heavy tomorrow, but we're still expecting some kind of a frost tomorrow if you've got a very light wind or a calm wind overnight, which many of us will see. And the wind does become more northwesterly for the day tomorrow. We start off with a little bit of cloud cover, and even future radar is trying to hint at a few flurries. I'm not entirely sold on this model run showing the flurries. Can't be ruled out. If anything, it just would be snow flurries flying around for your Wednesday morning. But then we see the clouds moving out as we go toward lunchtime. Our air temperature is in the upper 30s to low 40s. But again, that wind chill is going to stay in the 20s. So that's kind of just a look at today into tomorrow. We've got some sunshine coming our way. Always welcome that for sure. So that is good news regarding, more of that melting process taking place. The wind is now southwesterly. That's why our temperatures are going to run up a little bit faster today. We are still looking at wind gusts about 15, 20, maybe up to 25 miles per hour occasionally, at least until sunset, and then those winds will start to die down overnight. If you look very closely, at least we had it earlier this morning, this is the Tennessee River in Decatur, obviously, Hudson Memorial Bridge. We did have a little bit of that sea smoke, which is the very cold air over the warmer water. I'm not saying I'd jump into the Tennessee River right now. It's not a good idea to do that in this location anyways with some of the currents. But you get that kind of that fog that develops, and we call it sea smoke, even though it's a river, but that is the meteorological term for it. And you could really see some of that heavy frost that we've got still on the grassy areas along 565 here in Madison County. And that's where you get to spend that lovely 5 to 10 minutes extra with that ice scraper for yours too. Low temperatures, people have been asking, do I still need to drip my pipes? I would. I myself am doing it all this week. Just steady drip of the faucets, open up those cabinets, get a little extra of that heat in there, make sure your home is heating properly. You're probably finding some drafts maybe you didn't know you had in your home. But yeah, let the faucets drip for sure. And then look at our weekend lows. Saturday and Sunday morning, we start off in the teens again, maybe even single digits. So this is potential pipe bursting cold, and this is a long duration event. You don't want to deal with frozen pipes and the damage that can be caused by that, and then having to deal with insurance. This is a rare weather extra bus stop forecast, and I put a 9 a.m. late start. Maybe your student or kid at home doesn't have school today, or maybe your kid is going to school a little later than 9 a.m. I thought 9 o'clock was a nice compromise for some school districts. I gave it a D, though. It's not the most optimistic, but it's realistic. Bundle up, dress your kids in layers, make sure they're covering exposed skin, hats, gloves, scarves, all needed. Optimistic B here this afternoon, 39, but the wind chill will only be about 30 because of those breezy winds. So I'll give it a B, trying to spread some positivity on this Tuesday. It's been a lot. This past weekend took a toll on all of us. At 22 overnight, clouds will start to build in. We're still expecting a pretty good frost tomorrow. Maybe not as bad as what we had today, but still a pretty good frost for Wednesday. Wednesday starts off with some cloud cover, and then we see that cloud cover come to an end. We see sunshine. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer, even with the wind out of the west and northwest. That is a cooling wind, but I think the pattern change a little bit. It's going to allow our temperatures to be a touch warmer tomorrow. Of course, I'll reanalyze that high of 42 tomorrow. You know, there's a little added pressure with our 3-degree guarantee, trying to get as much money toward Manna House charity this month. It's with one of our sponsors, Frontier Roofing and Foundations, I believe, and they really want to raise as much money, and it's based on our forecast. So far we've done great this month. We've raised $600, but there's a little more added stress in the forecast. 43 on Thursday with cloudy skies. We've got 38 on Friday. That might drop a little bit, and then I already had to drop the weekend temperatures. It hurt me typing in those numbers here this morning and typing them going in the wrong direction. At least next weekend will just be cold. It will not be cold, and we won't have any winter precip. We won't have cold rain, but those mornings, Saturday and Sunday, are going to be rough in the teens. High of 26 on Saturday. We're like, that's the best we can do. This is probably going to be the longest cold stretch, hopefully, of our winter season, and it looks like we start to see some days in the 40s toward the end of your 10 days. So hopefully this earlier than normal weather extra. It's not going to be like this every day, unfortunately. We'll probably stick to that 10:30 time frame, but I just figured I could hang out with a few of you that maybe missed the news or the Fastcast this morning, and maybe you haven't had to take your kids off to the bus stop or the school drop-off line, or you got the day off work too, and you just want to hang out with me at 8:30 or so on a Tuesday morning. So appreciate you as always for joining us for Weather Extra. Thank you so much for your time. Stay warm today. Please still be careful traveling on those roads. And we'll have more updates through the morning. And then, of course, your newscast at noon with Gina Benitez and myself. So have a great Tuesday, everyone. Stay warm. Thanks for your time.